One more question, gentleman in the red shirt.
You mentioned nitrogen loading. Have you done a survey? Is that data available for the acreage here in Sandia Heights? Like, you have a map on the wall. Do you have a map with the lots and indicating the nitrogen loading per lot or per general area in Sandia Heights?
That's basically.
Lot size is again in New Mexico is based on 91.3 pounds per acre per year, and so that's what the regulation is based off. Does that answer your question?
So that's like a state criteria. This
91.3 pounds per acre per year is the number that is used in the state regulation.
But they haven't measured it. They haven't come up to Sandia Heights and taken, say, 10 measurements in this whole area to verify that.
I agree. The standard of a certain number of pounds of nitrogen per acre per time period is basically an engineering design consideration, and it's kind of like trying to make an estimate of what is the human life expectancy in New Mexico, okay? Some people, and it's like 77.4 years, okay? So how many people actually live 77.4 years exactly? So it's an estimate based on what we know to be happening out in the world.
But you're asking us to spend between 20 and 35K on an estimate.
That's a quick question. Just a quick question. Can I just ask a quick question? So we get our septics done. We get a permit pulled to do that, and then the way that you check it is you check the permits.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand the question.
When we go to get our septic system improved, a permit has to be pulled in order to do that, and so how you're doing it is checking the permits?
Yeah, basically, when a permit application comes into our office, we look and make sure that the type of system being proposed on that site is appropriate, and we do that by going out and visiting the site, okay, talking to the person who's saying that they're going to build the system. We come to an agreement and we say, okay, here's the permit. And then the permit, after the system is constructed, we get called and we go do a final inspection to make sure that what they said they would do on paper is actually what ended up in the ground. So it's an application process that results in an inspection.
And once that's done, then we'll be clear.
Then once that's done, there's essentially no more interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just add something if I can. First of all, I'm County Commissioner Michael Weiner. I represent this area on the County Commission. I appreciate all of you being here today. I appreciate Chris and George from the county, and Phyllis Moore, your president, and all the folks from the Board of Directors of Sandia Heights for holding this meeting, and I appreciate every one of you for being concerned about this issue. Let me tell you that on Tuesday I'll be directing the county manager to put together a review committee, and we'll look at every one of these issues. We'll appoint some folks from within your neighborhood. We'll work closely with your neighborhood association, and let's look logically at every single one of these aspects before we make any expenditures of money, because I think it would be far cheaper if we figured out a way to hook into the city sewer system and look into that, see what the practicalities of that are, see what the cost of that is. It just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to spend $8,000 to $34,000 to improve a septic system. And so I just think we need to look at all of those things, put everything on the table. If it takes extending the date from 2015, these folks are just doing their job. They're not they're not the decision makers. They're the folks that are entrusted with carrying out those decisions, and I appreciate their work. But we need to work within the law. We need to see if we can push things back and work closely with everyone to make sure we use our our heads and the latest technology to come up with some of these answers. I think some of the questions, particularly Mr. Fernandez's questions, I think were excellent, and I think we need to use your input and your ideas and your thoughts and make sure we hear from everybody and do the best job for you in coming up with a logical answer. So I will work on that starting on Tuesday. I'll keep Phyllis Moore and the Board of Directors apprised of what's happening, and we'll get something going right away on this. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Yes, sir?
John Wofford at 8 Juniper Hill Loop. I've just spent 21.5 on my septic system. You alter the rules that you have now, tell me that I've thrown 21.5 out. You can imagine how I'm going to feel.
Sure, I understand.
I didn't bring enough copies of this presentation on paper for everybody in the room. I'm going to email them to Bert O'Neill. I'm going to email him a PDF of these slides and the chart as a separate attachment. And I think that's, and I can also send that map by PDF as well. If you'd like to give me your individual email address, and I've got a sheet of paper up here I'll put at the back table, and you want to just sign up and I'll send that stuff to you directly, then please feel free to do that, and I'll put the sign-up sheet at the back right now.
It'll be on the internet, our internet.
Okay. Let me just add, I'm sorry, let me just add one more thing. If there's anyone here that has any technical expertise, anyone that has experience or has the passion and wants to be involved in a committee, please sign up at the back of the room. Let us know that you want to volunteer and want to participate, and we'll be happy to consider your expertise and your input in that. So, do you want to?
Yeah, thank you very much. All of you county folks that took the time to come down here, we really appreciate it. Obviously, this is a very contentious issue, pretentious issue, or whatever you want to call it, but you know, you don't know about these things until you throw these things out and see how the community acts. So again, you've got the email addresses, the phone numbers. If you have follow-on questions, there they are, you know, and we'll do anything we can in the community, in the board of directors and whatever, to help you on this. So that's it. Thank you again.
We need to thank our community.